Hey, y'all, come on in. Merry Christmas!
For Christmas morning, we'd like to open Christmas morning from MacDuff's Soap Company.
It's a Christmas morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Christmas morning,
we're the Barbershop Duet!
Hey, come on in, ladies here. We're so happy to see you. Thank you for spending this time with us on Christmas morning. And if you happen to be here during the live premiere, why, come on in, join the chat. We're waiting for you. Say hi to the Whiff Pack, a cool group of folks celebrating Christmas from all over the world. They'd love to meet you, too.
They would. And for our mention, speaking of Christmas, we actually purchased a few of these soap trays to be able to send some of the bar soaps from the artisans for Christmas gifts.
Yeah, y'all, if you want to expose some of your friends to some of the amazing work being done by some of your favorite shaving soap artisans, most of them make bar soaps, and you can send out some of your favorite scents to some of your non-shaving friends. So that's what we're going to do this year, and we are so excited. We've got MacDuff's Moon Soaps, we've got Sterling, we've got all kinds of soap bars going out to the four corners of the earth. And hopefully, maybe if they fall in love enough with the scents, they might say, hey, do they make a shaving soap for this? We might want to try it.
Yeah.
Speaking of such, what is our soap today?
We thought it'd be fitting to open Christmas morning on Christmas morning. And I'm kind of excited for an anise scent, too.
Yeah, right, as weird as I am about black licorice, I think anise is going to be a little bit different, and maybe with the Christmas morning idea will help wash over me and help me get over my fear of such things. But we'll know when we meet the soap. All right, y'all, so from the sales page at MacDuffSoapCompany.com.
Wake up to the crisp winter aroma of Christmas morning, MacDuff Soap Company's first anise scent. The composition opens with the bold, aromatic allure of anise and anise seed essential oils, complemented by green basil and a touch of allspice and cinnamon. To add some lightness to anise's typically dense aromatic profile, we've introduced an evergreen pairing of fir balsam and fir needle that also calls forth an essence of a freshly adorned Christmas tree, while subtle, a touch of eucalyptus and allspice add a festive brightness. The scent deepens into a warm, comforting base of vanilla, tonka bean, and soft sandalwood, enhanced by the natural sweetness of honey.
Y'all, not being the biggest anise fan, I am hoping that this might open my eyes to new ways that it can be used, the same way that Bad Santa in last year's Christmas Miracle saved patchouli for me, and the danker part of the patchouli made me fall in love with it, helped me understand it. So y'all, this might be my anise awakening. But we'll know when we let this Christmas morning out of its box. Y'all, we're not sure why we have a big blue X circled in green on this, except this package flew through the crisis situation going on at the Canadian Post Office right now, and we are grateful.
Some Santa magic,
Christmas miracle. Look at this label,
oh,
y'all.
Dog,
little
so
Scotty
cute.
dog ready for a Christmas Eve around a fire, and then Christmas morning getting his presents.
All in the fresh
good
snow.
Boy, I know. All right, y'all, so it is time to discover how anise is going to play a role in my Christmas morning. Let's have a first impression. Okay, I'm diving into this.
I'm proud of you. Do it. Let's see.
Let's see. Anise, black licorice, I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of a lateral move.
But I'm sure more the perfumer's grade of that, hopefully.
Here we go.
Oh, that was fast.
I don't get what I perceived as anise at all.
Oh.
I get it. I love this.
Okay.
That was immediate. Sean, okay, hold on a second. No. It's not anise-centered or forward. I don't think this is a lovely balance and a lighter intensity balance because some of these scent notes are by nature not meant to be real loud singers. So you gotta keep that balance nice and snuggly. Yo, hold on. Okay, so I get a lovely gourmandy sense, but it is a MacDuff's soap of just something baking in the oven, just a little bit of something on the counter. And then above that is the sense of a lovely cologne being made out of some of those spices from the baked goods. So y'all, I do not get a sense of star anise cutting through this mix at all. If anything, it's just part of the spices in the pies. It's part of the spices in the eggnog.
Okay.
Which is kind of what I was hoping, because that can be an awfully loud singer in this opera. The fir is not going sweet. It's not even going prominent, if you could imagine how those would sit. It's just sitting absolutely like equal to what the star anise is doing. And it's amazing because if one of them got too loud, you wouldn't be able to sense the other. Oh, and it gives me a lovely sense of an outside fir needle and an inside pie on the counter.
Oh, so you get a little both.
At the same time. That's why it's Christmas morning. Ooh, there might be one more thing.
Okay, I'll let you keep diving before I ask a question.
And you know what's funny? I'm going to say it.
Yeah?
I don't get any sense of black licorice in this. So I must not have known anise the same way I didn't know patchouli. So I'm a little delighted, not being the biggest fan of what I perceived anise to be, that this isn't it. But wait a minute, this might be a whole new version of it for me to explore and discover.
Awesome.
It's so friendly. Because generally anise is a little bit stuck up for me. It's always a little bit like, hi, would you please get me a gimlet? And it's kind of like that. This is totally warm and friendly and almost sitting in the balance the way a nutmeg or some other like eggnog spices would be sitting.
So if we were to put this on a crowd-pleasing scale, like where would you put this?
Here's the cool part. It is absolutely zero stereotypical Christmas. This is a new Christmas scent. So you're not going to smell this and like automatically hear sleigh bells. No, this is going to be a new color for your Christmas palette, a new way to explore someone else's memory and idea of a Christmas morning.
Love it.
But that being said, it is extremely crowd-pleasing. There is nothing jumping out at this to be pokey or a little bit dark or dankish at all.
Okay.
Absolutely crowd-pleasing, an 8 or a 9, and I love this.
Wow. So is it more of a vibe that you're getting? Or just an enjoyable scent?
Not a vibe, because I don't really get like a room, I don't get a place, I don't get a time, I don't get an activity. But y'all, one of the adjectives that sometimes Christmas morning is longing for is calm. It is not a very calm event, at least it wasn't in my family when I was growing up. An overall sense of prevailing calm, and I love that because if you do need a quiet moment to contemplate the actual reason for the holiday, calm is helpful. And this is helpful. What a lovely scent. Are you ready?
So that name, Christmas Morning, is oddly fitting.
I love it. And while it's not necessarily a vibe, I don't think it goes like masculine or feminine. I think it's kind of right down the middle.
Love it.
It's just a lovely calming scent. All right, you take this and see what you think.
Oh boy. It does actually look at this picture like, is it like a first snow?
I know.
But there is something about that calm that kind of comes through.
It's just the color palette of the red and the blues. Beautifully Christmas.
I want to go to there. I mean, I'm not always a fan of being cold, but in this picture, the snow looks very inviting.
And if you live near Alberta and you spend more than $40, Sean and MacDuff deliver it in person. Could you imagine?
All right, no more stalling.
All right, here we go.
I actually was kind of curious to get anise as well. I'm a fan of it, but I know for you it's kind of like the first thing that you notice if it is that black licorice thing.
It was, right. So that's going to be my first question.
Yeah.
How much anise do you get?
Okay,
All right, take it in.
see.
Let's see. Is it the Christmas tree or is it the Red Ryder BB gun hiding behind the desk? How do you perceive it?
I have to take a long whiff. At the end, I can kind of get what I'm thinking of. It almost could be more like the sassafras side of root beer.
Oh,
you know, like that
right.
deeper. I mean, it definitely gets darker than that.
Right.
But it's in here. It's so inviting, and the spices are actually really making the anise side of it not the first like stop sign they get.
Right, like licorice. Do you get a licorice sense at all?
At the very end.
Oh, okay.
If I really kind of go for looking for it, it's there. But the other stuff are so welcoming coming in that it's the most attractive version. Like, I don't think that would be my first thought if I didn't have the clue that there was going to be anise. It would kind of be like, I think that could be, but the way it's disguised in here and melded to be so, like, charming somehow, it really works. I am kind of excited that that's what started this off was anise and like, okay, how can we make this more of a crowd-pleasing kind of thing?
Or make it more of a Christmas scent, because for me, it's almost more of a spring or summer sort of a scent to it, but not here. This is beautiful. It's got almost like a cold sense to it.
It does, but I want to go dive in for the
please.
The
taking the
furs
rest
and the
of it. There's a
tree here.
lot more to discover. Maybe even the vanilla and tonic bean. I'm kidding.
It's funny. You're right. The way that the Douglas fir/fir needles are mixed in here, my brain almost thought I was getting more of like a minty side.
Right.
Like it does take some of the sweeter sides away, but it makes it so much more real somehow.
Because it's evergreen, it's fir needle, but y'all, you know how pine sol goes into those sweet syrupy highs? There is nothing like that in here. You may not even recognize it as pine or as fir needle because of how Sean has reached into the center of the scent and pulled out only particular parts of those notes. It's amazing.
Like to my brain, I would think crisp and fresh.
Right.
I don't know if I would actually pick out that it was a
Right.
fur or a needle or anything, but I knew there was something green, but it's like bright. Like the snow hasn't covered the green yet.
Right. And you know what my brain heard? Crisp, fresh, and clean. This has a clean sense to
does.
it, like a creamy cleanness, like a soapiness under the surface.
Right, and you wouldn't at first think anise and right away think, because my brain gets that image of black, like the black licorice color.
Yep.
So it's interesting that both of us saying, it is a clean scent, that it's not being brought down or darkened too much. Like he was very right about that in the sales page.
Well, and I think anise can be a bit subdued once it's been cooked. So I think like in a licorice sense where it's kind of a raw sense of it, it's a little bit more pokey.
Yes.
Y'all, there is nothing pokey about it in this balance.
Again, I go right to the charming side, but I think you're right. There's something in the kitchen that's been baking, the all spicy, not quite gingerbread, but something that just makes a little ginger-y, warmer kind of vibe coming
Someone's
through.
in the kitchen with Dinah.
I'm still trying to figure out how my brain knows that this is a Christmas scent.
Right.
Because it is. And I think Christmas morning on there is the perfect way to lay this out. Yeah. There is a calm. There is just that, like, the sun is shining. Right. You want to smile. It's just the nice, enjoyable part of Christmas morning. Like, the chaos has somehow been tamed down.
That's it.
You're just having that moment of letting everything wash over you.
Right.
Like, I feel like we maybe opened gifts. We all got dolled up and we're going to go out for a walk. There's just something like you're cozy, you're in good company, and you're just enjoying that moment coming through.
That's it. Because Cooper and French's Santa's Workshop, y'all, that kind of had the sense of a busy, bustling workshop. And almost for me, the sense of like Bloomingdale's and Nordstrom and Macy's at Christmas with a life-size gingerbread house at the Fairmount Hotel. This is the opposite. This is not the hustle and bustle of Christmas. Yeah. This is the calm of Christmas. In fact, Christmas Sky was a little bit more of the hustle and bustle of Christmas from MacDuff's. This is more of that calm Christmas morning with a little Scotty dog in your lap.
Right? Like, I almost get the image of if you took your family, instead of staying in town, you all went off to a Christmas cabin or something together, and you're just enjoying. You're not going to have to get into the car and drive into town. You're just staying together. It's that comfy, cozy sense,
And y'all, let's take another look at these scent notes, because I want to know what else might be swirling around in here. All right, y'all, back to the sales page at MacDuffSoapCompany.com. So before we scroll up and look at the actual list, let's read the description again.
All right. Bold aromatic allure of anise and anise seed essential oil. So maybe that kind of tames it down just a little. Right. I'm curious. And then I forgot this, but it's complemented by green basil. And then here's the spices, allspice and cinnamon.
Y'all, if you smelled the herbalist, Sean can work miracles and wonders with scent notes that you wouldn't think would go together. But green basil, absolutely, that's in there. Cinnamon and allspice, pumpkin pie on one side, spicy green cocktails almost going on the other with allspice and cinnamon.
That makes sense to me, because I think that's what we were mixing with the fir in our minds.
That's why the anise has been a bit subdued in the mix. It's not that its character isn't there. It's because the basil is there being its best friend and keeping it from getting too loud at the party. Are you getting that?
And that's how I think I know it's morning. That's the brightness that's coming through. Oh, to add some lightness to anise's typically dense aromatic profile, we've introduced evergreen pairings of fir balsam and fir needle.
Love it.
But that, again, mixes with the basil. Sneaky.
And look at my face. I think if you actually smelled for the fir balsam and the fir needle, you wouldn't get them. You have to dig for them. You have to find how they're constructed, almost using the other notes in here. And isn't that awesome? Wait a minute. Evergreen that's not jumping out? Nope. It's like having Dinah Shore as a backup singer.
A subtle touch of eucalyptus and allspice add a festive brightness.
Allspice is listed twice with the cinnamon, but then again with the eucalyptus. That's how the eucalyptus is sitting. It's binding with things that you wouldn't suspect, but they make beautiful scent combinations.
And then here we're rounding out the end here. The scent deepens into a warm, comforting base. Vanilla, tonka bean, soft sandalwood, enhanced by a natural sweetness of honey.
That's the base. And y'all, look at my base. For a Christmas soap to not go peppermint, to not go crazy evergreen, to not go into those stereotypes of the holiday, but have the courage to build something brand new and amazing. Do you sense a honey note at the bottom of this?
Okay, let's see. Because we both said there's something in the kitchen. But let me see if I can get the honey out of here. Yeah, they blend super well.
Right?
My nose just keeps dancing between like something sweet, something real. Something sweet, something real.
And where have we seen honey and vanilla before? Y'all, Christmas morning. We are going to build a lather, y'all. This is our new bowl from Haley's Artisan. It's a 3D printed bowl, and it's got epoxy there, and those little ridges. Looks like a fortune teller. It put a crystal ball on top. And this is our trotter brush. It was a gift from Sean and Julie Smaldridge. We thought it only fitting to give it some light here on Christmas morning, because it's one of our favorite presents of all time.
Or the softer MacDuff.
Very, very buttery soft soap there. All right, y'all, so step one to a successful bowl lather is, first of all, push the soap into the ridges of that bowl as if you were just trying to grind chocolate into carpet. All right, y'all, so here is how we make our lathers here on the Barbershop Duet. We do a vertical bloom of the soap. So we'll give it about 20 sprays with the bougie sprayer and let the water run down to the bottom of the bowl. Then bring that dried trotter brush in contact with that soap and start to spin one way, start to spin backwards, push down, get a little backbone going on, and start to load the soap onto the bristles of that brush. And then, here's the patented Barbershop Duet move. Turn the brush about 25%, brings a new orientation of those bristles to the soap at the bottom of the bowl and starts to bring more soap onto those bristles in a new way. Forwards, backwards, push down, a little backbone, and then turn it again, another 25%. Brand new orientation for the bristles. More soap is going to get sopped up onto that brush. And then, last thing, one more turn of the brush, the last bit of bristles that have not been introduced to that soap. And when about 20%, 15, 20 is sitting in the bottom of the bowl, the rest of it is already on the bristles of your brush. Here's the dangerous part for the dog. Go down and slowly, spinning your brush while you do it, load the water onto the bristles to go with the soap. And then you are ready for either the best face or leg lather of your life or a very grown-up and dignified bowl lather for Christmas morning. The bubbles are going to start big, and they're going to start getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And pretty soon, you're going to have a beautiful iridescent yogurt going on in your bowl.
Magic is happening. It's still a bright morning to me. I think that
right.
just refreshing brightness is coming through.
Right. Yeah, why do we always think of Christmas morning as being sort of dark and foggy? This is sort of beautifully light and optimistic. All right, y'all, this is something you will only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas with. On 3, 1, 2. Yeah. Whoa!
And like minty, almost something?
A little drier, a little more dapper, even a little less sweet, but a little more clever.
Right.
Coming out of this. That's cool. Hold on. Y'all, the anise is just the heat on the stove, and it's heating up the rest of those spices and nooks and crannies. Beautiful. I love how warm it is. It's not pokey. It's not spicy.
No.
It's warm.
It is nothing that we expected it would be.
Wow.
Like, it almost just adds a coziness and time of year for me somehow.
I kind of get the fire in the fireplace from it. Like, that's how they did it. It doesn't go high. It goes wide.
It does. It does. Like, you just want to keep whiffing. You don't want to stop. There's just something that your brain is, like, thoroughly enjoying with every whiff.
And yet it stays on the friendlier side. It smells like a walk outside and then a walk past the desserts on the counter when you come back in and you're hanging up your coat.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just taking off my nice thick jacket and somehow that scent of being outside and walking in the door.
And can we just have a grown-up conversation about the vanilla and what it's doing in this? Do you even sense it? Because it's super light, but I love how it's doing its job.
I think that is almost what brings me into the basil fir needle side. Like it's that sweeter, more charming side coming through. And the vanilla is doing.
And there's something about how it's binding with the sandalwood to give a creaminess under the surface of this that is amazing. I love this. And y'all, when we do watch the Deacon shaves, we like to see how the lather coats his face. And so while we do not do shaving here in the Barbershop Duet, I'm just going to bring this sort of close to our face. And look, the lather just jumps off the brush onto the face. Our faces aren't even wet, y'all. Look at this.
I know, this is like a 3D lather. My goodness.
Oh.
It is like fresh snow. Look at that.
It does smell a bit different on the face. Are you getting like that dry, almost hay note in this?
Oh.
Right?
Okay, so I think there's definitely snow on the ground, but you know like when you step on the snow and your foot goes through to the earth?
Right.
Like it's just that crunch of the boot kind of feeling.
There is something delightfully outside, but with sort of a Norman Rockwell twist to it. You getting that?
Yeah. It is a very like sophisticated scent if you dive at it with that lens. You know, it really does have lots of layers here. A gentle touch of gourmandiness, but not an in-your-face gourmand. It's definitely outside.
And y'all, this is what you've been waiting to see. From the sales page of MacDuff's Soap Company, here is a list of the ingredients. We start with aniseed and star anise. And then basil, cinnamon, fir balsam, fir needle. So far, it's pretty much what we were expecting. Vanilla, tonka bean. What is broadleaf peppermint?
So there is a mint in here, y'all.
Broadleaf peppermint. And then allspice, amyris, honey, sandalwood, and tonka bean. Sorry, I misread that. And it being Christmas morning, I still need to see what's under the tree. Can we please take this a look? It's funny, one of the most comforting and beautifully spicy soaps from MacDuff's, but one of the least gourmandy. Do you sense that?
I would agree. And after seeing that there is like the peppermint hiding in here and the amorous, like those are the secret things that I knew were in here somehow. I just didn't know where.
And it's not a candy cane peppermint. It's not a it's more of what the leaf is doing with the peppermint. It's more of using it for a cooling agent than it is for like a mint.
Right.
Beautiful.
It's almost like a sweeter side to the peppermint. It's still green, but it's just that gentle enough to be, again, Christmas time.
And it's the coolness of the peppermint that allow me to sense the warmth of the star anise and the aniseed. That's part of the magic of how this is being done, because there are certain scent notes that unless they have a good canvas, it's hard to see them. So I love that it's giving you a little bit of a tug of war in here, and even with that basil too, to give that star anise a bit of a spotlight without having it jump out and be too loud and squinchy.
So now when you read anise on a scent note description, you are not going to be scared because this is a wonderful entrance to it.
I will compare it with this for the rest of my natural life. This is beautiful and not at all licorice-y.
If I smell for it, it's for sure here. But if you don't know what anise is and you want to find a nice way to get to know it with lovely friends in the bowl, this is a great way, Christmas morning, to get your nose on.
Where was your favorite place to have Christmas morning?
Ooh, that's a toss-up because we would always have Christmas morning at my parents' house. My mom's parents would come out and start Christmas off with us there. And then we would go to my dad's side of the family up the hill afterwards. So I just loved being surrounded by cousins and full energy all over the house. When we were really little, we would sit at the top of the stairs and wait and listen for my grandparents' car to pull up because we had to wait till they got there till we could come downstairs and see all the gifts from Santa. As an adult, I now know that they had to sneak the gifts in to put under the tree from their side that was also from Santa, which was the cutest thing ever, but it was just, you know, that typical kid stomping down the stairs to come downstairs, that kind of sound and excitement, that screams Christmas morning for me.
My grandfather was not the most engaged grandparent. So come Christmas time, he used to write my mom a check for $30 per kid, and that was it. Well, there was one Christmas when he was like, I'm buying their gifts this year. So my mom wanted to be encouraging. She was like, that's great, Dad. Wonderful. I was 9. You know what I got? Skin bracer.
9.
Skin bracer aftershave. Because that man pulled over at Walgreens down the street and did all his Christmas shopping 20 minutes before he arrived.
Holy moly.
And he thought that was the funniest thing he had ever seen in his whole life. He sat there in the corner weeping. He was laughing so hard as my 7-year-old cousin opened some feminine napkins. I don't know why. And Mom was like, I'll make it up to you later. Just smile and put on some skin bracer. And one last question for the whiff pack. If you haven't shaved, does aftershave still burn? Why does Kevin McAllister scream when he puts it on in Home Alone? What did we get Lainey for Christmas?
She's deaf. It's just funny. A lamb chop toy, which was one of her favorites, but it has a Santa hat because, you know, you got to get the Christmas version.
So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be 8-year-old Marcus who had an irrational fear of Santa Claus coming in his house on Christmas Eve. I don't know why, but the thought petrified me, and I could not get to sleep until 3 a.m. Well, the very next morning when my mom woke me up very slowly and carefully by shaking me, but she was wearing her enormous red nightgown, and I thought Santa was there shaking me awake for some series of unknown horrors. Boy, did I scream out loud, scare the crap out of her, and I got my own. So, head over to MacDuff'sSoapCompany.com to find this and a bunch of other cool stuff.
I am back from my shave with Christmas morning, and I'm so glad that I have this scent to have on actual Christmas morning. But I have to say, the anise in this and the lather was wonderful. I will come back to this a lot more often than I at first was expecting. I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to know anise in this mix-up, and thank you, Sean and MacDuff, for being part of our friends this year. It's him.
I think it's pronounced anise.
Right. Welcome to Messages.
So, y'all, if you stay tuned, our new collaboration soap with Adopted Acres called 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and our giveaway this December is for you, our lucky winner, to get the very first tub when Adopted Acres goes live after the first of the year. So all you have to do to be eligible for this giveaway is send an email here to WeSentYou@theBarbershopDuet.com so that we can get back to you, and then check back here on January 1st when we have Alexa help us choose our lucky winner on the show.
Best of luck.
Y'all, here's the cool part about MacDuff's and the Christmas scents that Sean is creating from scratch. I've got rehearsal tonight for a concert that we're all doing right before Christmas. I may not want to smell exactly like eggnog. I may not exactly want to smell like peppermint or chocolate. I may just want a lovely, brand new Christmassy vibe that everybody's just going to think, wow, what a beautiful, lovely, comforting scent. And it's funny, I have gotten compliments in wearing some of this stuff from the wet shaving world at those rehearsals. It's amazing. So, Sean, thank you for giving us new variations on the Christmassy melodies.
I love having this label because it just gives you a little gentle nudge of like Christmas spirit. But again, it's not overwhelmingly like if you wanted to use this a little earlier or a little further after, it's got a winter vibe coming through for sure.
Absolutely. And what's that beautiful song from Sesame Street when I was 5? Keep Christmas with you all through the year. Oh, Bob McGrath, he died last year. Y'all, it's a great way to keep Christmas all the way through those snowy months and a little bit of MacDuff cheer to have on your shoulder as well.
Thank you so much for spending your Christmas morning with us. It's a joy knowing that we get to be in your homes with you. Even if you're by yourself, we can kind of all celebrate somehow together
And
far apart.
over the last couple of years, these members of the Whip Pack have grown to be some of our favorite people, even though we've never been to Ireland or Scotland or Sweden or any of these amazing places where you all are. Thank you for being here today with us in our barbershop to celebrate Christmas. It means a lot.
It really does. Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.